Have you ever gotten tired of giving everything, only to end up with yourself trying to figure out what went wrong? Have you ever found yourself wondering why he only really started to notice you when you finally pulled away? Because that's what happens. He didn't realize while you were there. Only afterward. When it was too late. When you were no longer waiting. And now? Now he feels it, but he doesn't know what to do with it. But today, you're going to understand why everything happened this way, and most importantly, what changes from now on. Stay, because this message isn't about him. It's about you. He started to mentally relive every detail. The way you looked at him when he said something silly, the way your laughter filled the house, even the shared silence in the car, which now feels so deafening. And for the first time in a long time, he found himself confronted with a painful truth. You were the love he didn't know how to keep. The angels show that this is not just about missing someone. What he feels now is a reverence. An admiration that he may have suppressed before out of pride, immaturity, or fear. He realizes there was a peace in your presence, a healing in your words, a kind of love that isn't found twice in a lifetime. This awareness didn't come easily. He had to lose. He had to feel the pain of the echo, the empty bed, the conversations that now only exist in memory. He thought he was strong, but it was your absence that completely disarmed him. It was that absence that forced him to face his own ghosts, the unspoken fears, the unnamed feelings. And if you think all of this went unnoticed, that he moved on without looking back, the angels tell you, no. His heart is caught in a dance between regret and longing. He reads your old messages as if they were prayers. He searches for your scent in strangers. He dreams of reunions that never happened. And every little detail the world offers him ends up being a reminder of what he lost. But there's something even deeper. It's not just about losing you. It's about losing himself. He realized that with you, he was a better version of himself. Kinder. More genuine. More connected to his own soul. And now without you, he's trying to rebuild what he let crumble. The angels show that this journey of regret is also a journey of growth. He's learning, even if it's late. He's looking within himself like never before. He's trying to understand love not as a right, but as a gift. At this point, you might be wondering, and me? Where do I fit into this story? Is there still something between us? That's a sacred question. And the answer lies not only in his actions, but in the wisdom of your own soul. Because now, more than ever, you have the power to choose with consciousness. You are no longer the same woman who said goodbye with a heavy heart. You are stronger, more serene. And the angels remind you, true love starts within you. He might come back. He might not. But what matters now is that you understand your worth. That you recognize that you were indeed a transformative love. That you left an indelible mark on someone who only knew how to love when it was too late. And if you've made it this far, the angels ask, take a deep breath and write in the comments, I choose myself, as an act of power, healing, and reconnection. Because it doesn't matter if he understood too late. What matters is that you will never stop loving yourself early enough. Type 1 to go to the next part now. With a clearer heart and eyes turned inward, you can begin to see more clearly the true role you've played, and continue to play, in this man's life. It wasn't just a love story that got lost along the way. It was a mirror he didn't know how to use. A reflection of what he lacked the courage to be. You were the awakening. For a long time, he believed that love was possession, routine, or even convenience. He thought he could hold on to you without committing to the depth of what he felt. But your presence demanded courage. It asked for surrender. It called for transformation. And he wasn't ready yet. The angels show you something sacred. Some people need to lose in order to grow. Some souls only awaken through the impact of absence. And as painful as it was, your departure became for him a turning point. A before and after. A moment of truth that could no longer be ignored. Since then, he has begun to see you in everything beautiful and serene. In each sunset he witnesses alone. In every piece of advice he tries to give someone, recalling the words he heard from you. In every small action that once seemed trivial, but now carries deep meaning. He realizes that you were the center of a peace he didn't know he needed, and now he silently begs to have back. But the angels are clear, this transformation is his. This pain he feels now, this regret that consumes him, is part of the path he needs to walk. Not to win you back, but to find himself again. Because deep down he knows, the love he lost was not ordinary. And perhaps he will never find anything like it again. And you? Are you ready to embrace this new phase with ease? Because the woman you've become after that pain carries a new sparkle in her eyes. A sparkle that doesn't beg, wait, or plead for attention. A sparkle that stands on its own. One that knows that even if the other person comes back, it is you who decides whether they still fit into the life you've built in their absence. The angels whisper, you are love. You are healing. You are a new beginning. And even if that man is finally waking up to what he has lost, the true miracle is that you have awakened to yourself. Now, if something within you feels that this love still has a mission, the angels guide you to let time reveal it. Don't rush. Don't open the door just for the memory. Allow him to prove, with actions, presence, and truth, that he is no longer the same man who let you go. And while he tries to find you again, may you continue to find yourself as well. Because there's something sacred in this. The woman who rises from her own ashes will never be the same as the one who was left behind. At this moment, the angels ask you to declare this new phase. Write in the comments, I am my own new beginning. Because this phrase will anchor all the strength you already possess, and perhaps it's just now that you are starting to realize it. And when you feel that everything is falling into place, when your heart is at peace even without complete answers, then the universe may surprise you. Perhaps he will return, transformed. Perhaps another love, more ready and whole, will cross your path. But above all, your light will continue to guide your way. You are the answer you have been seeking. Type 1 to go to the next part, and if he comes back, maybe it won't be the way you imagined. There won't be a rehearsed speech or that perfect timing from a romantic movie. If he comes back, it's because something inside him broke enough for him to finally look at you with honesty. Not that truth we pretend for convenience, but the kind that comes when the soul gets tired of pretending it doesn't feel. Because you know, it wasn't a lack of love that pushed him away. It was fear. Fear of not measuring up to what you represent. Because loving you requires presence. It requires commitment. And he didn't yet know how to live that without losing himself. So he chose what seemed easier, but now he's discovering how costly that decision is. Maybe he's wondering where you've gone. Why you're not reaching out anymore. Why that sparkle of I'm still waiting for you doesn't show in your eyes anymore. But you know. You felt that it was no longer possible to keep putting your heart where it wasn't welcomed. And no, that wasn't a breakup. It was a reconnection with yourself. You don't need him to understand. You don't need him to return with answers. What you've built within yourself since then is already enough. And maybe he'll never be able to access that. But that's okay. What matters now is the space you created within yourself for something greater, for a new phase, a new awareness, a love that doesn't begin with someone else, but within you. You're not the same person who was there waiting for messages that never came. You're no longer the woman who lived trying to decode silences. You've changed. Quietly, deeply. And if he comes back, he will have to deal with this new version of you. A version that doesn't bend, that doesn't beg for scraps of attention, that doesn't settle for half of what she deserves. And this is where a lot changes. Because while he tries to understand where he lost you, you've already found parts of yourself that were long forgotten. And no, that doesn't mean you've closed the doors. It means that now, they don't open for just anyone. Not even for someone who's been inside before. Some people only learn after they lose. There are men who only realize what they had when they no longer hear the good morning in your voice. When Sundays stretch out too long. When conversations feel empty, even when surrounded by others. And you can bet, he's living all of this. But it's not about punishment. It's about awareness. About the time each person needs to see what their heart already knew. And you? You did your part. You loved truly. And that can't be erased. He won't be able to erase it either. Because when love is real, it leaves marks. Marks that even time can't disguise. Now, look at yourself. Look carefully. Do you feel how much you've changed? Do you sense how much you've matured, how much you've grown? You've learned to listen to yourself, to embrace yourself, to prioritize yourself. And more than that, you've learned to respect your own time. To honor what hurts, but also what heals. Maybe he'll come back. But maybe he won't know where to find you anymore, because you've moved on. And if he wants to reach you, he'll need to earn it. He'll need to show, through clear actions, that he understands what he once ignored. That he now knows the value of someone who stands by and not just of someone who leaves. It's hard to think about this, I know. Because deep down, we always kept a space for him. But there comes a moment when we realize that the love that matters is the one that builds. Not the one that keeps you waiting. Not the one that comes and goes. Not the one that needs to see you walk away to appreciate your presence. You are not alone. You never were. What you've experienced has taught you more about love than any book, any advice, any catchphrase ever could. Because it was real. And that's what gives you the strength to move forward now, without guilt, without fear, without hesitation. It's not about teaching anyone a lesson. It's about finding peace. It's about knowing that you did your best with what you had. That you gave your all. And that now, if someone wants to take that place, they'll need to come whole as well. No promises. Just presence. And if doubt ever creeps in, if you feel tempted to give in, to reopen that unfinished conversation, remember this, you are okay now. Not perfect, but at peace. And peace, my dear, is the new standard. Nothing less than that. So if he comes back, that's fine. But he needs to come correct. He needs to come with truth. Because you today are no longer the woman who waited. You are the woman who chooses. Calmly, consciously, with love. But above all, with respect for yourself. He has not returned. And maybe he never will. But is that really what defines what matters now? Because, looking closely, you can see that what you've built with yourself holds a value that no longer depends on who stayed or who left. It hasn't been easy to get here. You know that. There were days when the pain felt greater than any good memory. There were nights when the silence hurt more than any word spoken in haste. But in the midst of it all, you started to hear something else, yourself. And that's when everything began to change, even if slowly. You stopped trying to understand what he thought, what he felt, what could have been different. You began to focus on what you feel. You started to honor your time, your pauses, your limits, and most importantly, your choices. There's a lot of talk about self-love, about fresh starts, about liberation. But only those who have lived it know what it's like to be there, in the middle of emotional chaos, trying to piece everything together without even knowing where to start. And you did that. Alone. At your own pace. No stage, no audience. Today, even though memories still exist, they no longer control you. Nostalgia may still pop up, but it doesn't dictate your steps. That urge to understand, to go back, to redo, it doesn't scream as it used to. Because now there's something stronger inside you, peace. A peace that you built. It didn't come from the outside. It came from the quiet decisions you've made. Every time you chose to sleep instead of send a message. Every time you chose to respect yourself instead of insist. Every time you chose to stay at peace instead of search for explanations that never came. And maybe he will come back one day. Maybe he will understand everything that only became clear after your absence. But that no longer defines what you want from life. Because you're no longer waiting for someone else to be happy. You're not putting your life on hold for someone who didn't know how to value you. What you have now is much more than an answer. It's awareness. It's emotional maturity. It's that firmness that comes when you realize that real love isn't about drama, about insistence, about saving someone else. It's about walking together. And if there's no partnership, it's better to walk alone. And when you look at yourself today, with all you've lived through, with everything you've overcome, you truly feel that you are stronger. Not that kind of strength that pretends everything is fine, but the kind that knows that even when it's not fine, you'll know what to do. You'll know where to go. You'll know what you deserve. This journey you've taken, even though filled with pain, has brought you here. And here is a safe place. A place where you recognize yourself. Where you don't betray yourself. Where you don't abandon yourself. That's why, even if he doesn't come back, it's all right. Because you have returned to yourself. You've centered yourself. You've gone back to what rightfully belongs to you. The peace of being who you are, without depending on anyone else's gaze to feel whole. And the angels show you this all the time, even when you don't realize it. In the little things of the day. In the way you handle your emotions. In how you take care of yourself. In how you talk to yourself. In how you protect yourself. In how you embrace yourself. All of this is love. Real love. Your love. So it doesn't matter anymore whether he understood or not. Whether he missed you or not. Whether he comes back or not. What matters now is what you have built within yourself. And that, nobody can take away. You are ready. To move forward. To live. To allow yourself. To love, if you want. To say no if you need to. To make choices from a place of truth, your truth. And that's what makes you free. Truly. Now is the time to look forward with faith. To make room for miracles. To allow the new to surprise you. Because, sometimes, what's to come is infinitely greater than what you thought you wanted. And if this message has touched your heart, if it has awakened something deep inside you, the angels ask you to declare it with courage and gratitude. Write, I choose to move forward in peace. This phrase is a key, a signal to the universe that you are ready, that you've understood the lesson, welcomed the learning, and that you are making space for blessings that once seemed distant. And don't be surprised if, in the coming days, you start to notice signs, dreams, words that seem to beckon you, synchronicities. This will be the universe responding, confirming that you are aligned with something much bigger. Because sometimes one needs to lose, to learn how to love. But you only needed to remember who you are. And now, you remember.